Well, then the time is now 9:35, and I will call the Health and Human Services Committee to order. My name is Julie Renahan. I'm chairing today. Karen, please take the roll.
Okay, Vice Chair Renahan.
Here.
Member Tornatori. Member Desart.
Here.
Member DeCiani.
Here.
Member Eckhoff.
Here.
Member Larson. Okay, we have 4.
Okay, thank you. So today we're going to be operating under the revised statute 7E, which allows for virtual or audio connection for a quorum and for voting purposes. All votes will be by roll call. I want to make sure we can all hear each other, so please speak up when you make a motion. If you're virtual, please state your name to facilitate record keeping. Do we have any public comment today?
No public comment.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to quickly say, with all the hardships of COVID, I just want to recognize how important this committee has been to getting supports to residents. So thanks to the staff and thanks to all you who do it every day. Janelle Chadwick and her staff have gone above and beyond on testing protocol, in many cases better than what private facilities are doing, keeping some residents safe and keeping them mentally, their minds busy at this stressful time. Also, Mary Keating, thanks for your quick deployment on community services for housing and rehousing placements and managing grant dollars to best support our residents in need. As far as Chairman's remarks, I'd just like to make one comment, and I think it might be a good idea going forward on this committee is to possibly change the name from Health and Human Services, possibly to Human Services and Care Center. I just think there's been some confusion and some kind of misleading to residents to label it a health committee when we have no jurisdiction over the health department. The health department has its own board. And I know I'm getting health-related concerns. You know, people reporting to me that people are not wearing masks. I know during Sterigenics, there was some criticism that this committee was not coming out talking more about ETO. Even the chairman recently made a statement saying something to the regard of public health in this committee. So I just think it's something going forward we should think about, so give it some thought. And that I will entertain a motion for approval of the Thursday, July 7th minutes.
So moved, Desart.
Second, DeCiani.
Any comments? And then we'll do a roll call vote.
Okay, Member Desart.
Aye.
Member DeCiani.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff.
Aye.
Member Larson. Member Tornatori. And Acting Chair Renahan.
Aye. Those are approved. I'll entertain a motion to combine and approve items A, B, C, D, and E on 6A, community service requests.
So move, Eckhoff.
Second, Desart.
I'm just running through those quickly. We have acceptance and appropriation of a housing program, one for LIHEAP. We have issuance of payment also on LIHEAP. Recommendation for approval of contract with DuPage Federation on Human Services Reform, and approval of a contract for a low-touch socially distanced queuing system. Do we have any questions or comments on those? Discussion? A roll call vote, please.
Member Eckhoff.
Aye.
Member Larson. Member Tornatori. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member DeCiani.
Aye.
Acting Chair Renahan.
Aye. Those items are approved. I'll entertain a motion to combine and approve items 7A, 1 and 2. They are resolutions that require CDC resolutions. The first is a Ray Graham Association to transfer CDBG liens, and the second is extending the project on Midwest Shelter for Homeless Veterans.
Motion.
Second, Desart.
Do we have any discussion, questions? Roll call vote, please.
Okay, was that you, Pete?
Yeah, that was the motion. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Member DeCiani.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff.
Aye.
Member Larson. Member Tornatori. Member Desart.
Aye.
Acting Chair Renahan.
Aye. Those pass. I'll entertain a motion to approve CDC requests at 7B for second agreement modification for CDBG for Home DuPage to extend the project completion date.
DeCiani motions.
Second, Eckhoff.
Do we have any discussion or questions on this item? Okay. Roll call vote.
Member DeCiani,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Larson, Member Tornatori, Member Desart,
Aye.
Acting Chair Renahan.
Aye, that passes. I entertain a motion to combine and approve items 8A 1 through 6. They're all care center requests.
Motion to approve, Desart.
Second by DeCiani.
Just running through those. 1 is a fast pack medication dispensing machine supplies. 2 is a direct supply Jones replacement bed parts. 3 are more bed parts with dolphin fluid immersion simulation. 4 is pulmonary exchange for respiratory care equipment rental. 5 Lakeshore Dairy for the care center and the campus buildings. And 6 is a change order on Cimbria Rehab for wellness and outpatient center staffing and management. Do we have any questions, discussion on these items? Roll call vote.
Member Desart,
Aye.
Member DeCiani,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Larson, Member Tornatori, Acting Chair Renahan.
Aye. These are all approved. Ask for a motion to combine and approve 8B 1 through 5. We have more care center requests.
So moved by DeCiani.
Second by Eckhoff.
Great. I'm running through these. 1 is Alco Sales and Services for Broda tilt recliner chairs. 2, Alco Sales again, wheelchairs and cushions. 3 is maintenance and support of the medication dispensing machine. 4 is vinyl gloves, a COVID item. And 5 is contract to space tables for the DuPage Care Center. Do we have any discussion on these items, questions? Roll call vote.
Member DeCiani,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Larson, Member Tornatori, Member Desart,
Aye.
Acting Chair Renahan.
Aye, these items are approved. I'd ask for a motion to approve these budget transfer items, signing funding for HUD waivers, increasing administration by removal of CHDO scattered site rehab project for 2020.
So moved, Desart.
Second, Eckhoff.
Questions, discussion? Roll call vote.
Member Desart,
Aye.
Member DeCiani,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Larson, Member Tornatori, Acting Chair Renahan.
Aye. These are approved. Lastly, I'd like to ask for a motion to combine, accept, and place on file the 2 informational items, 10A and B.
So moved, Desart.
Second DeCiani.
All right, roll call vote.
Member Desart,
Aye.
Member DeCiani,
Aye.
Member Eckhoff,
Aye.
Member Larson, Member Tornatori, and Acting Chair Renahan.
Aye. These will be placed on file. I understand we do not have any residency waivers. Janelle, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Community services update, Mary Keating.
Sure, thank you. A couple things today. The LIHEAP season started last week. It's unusually early this year. Typically, LIHEAP starts beginning of October. The other thing that's different about LIHEAP this year is that unlike most years where the first 2 months are for priority populations, so typically the first month is for seniors and people with disabilities, second month is for people with disconnect notices. And, this year there are no priority populations. Anyone who's eligible for LIHEAP can apply starting last week. We're still doing appointments remotely. We'll continue to do appointments remotely. We will start to see people in person if they're not able to access us remotely. That won't start until the intake rooms have been completed. Facilities management has been making modifications to our intake rooms. We've reduced the number of intake rooms so that we can make them larger. We've also installed plexiglass, longer tables, 2 doors in and out whenever possible, so to make those safer for our staff and for the people that we serve. We have a couple of programs within the department that have returned to field work. The weatherization program, those staff have returned to the field. Our Ombudsman Program, which advocates for individuals who are in long-term care facilities, they are doing window visits with residents. Our Adult Protective Services staff have returned to the field. They are doing home visits with appropriate PPE. They're meeting with residents out on, outside on the front porches wherever possible. But they do, if necessary, they do enter the home with sufficient PPE. As Member Renahan mentioned, community development is really working through the HUD approval process to make sure that our various funds are getting out to residents in need. So there's a lot going on. As I mentioned, I think at the last HHS meeting, we're also working through the approval process, getting agreements ready and processes nailed down on the funds that were allocated, the CARES Act money that was allocated to the department. We put out the applications for nonprofits to apply for the direct cost reimbursement for the IT, PPE, those specific expenses. We also have put out the application for behavioral health, the residential services providers for their increased staffing costs. So those applications, I think, are due on the 14th. So we hope to have those recommendations to the board for the first meeting in September. I think that's about all I have for now.
That's great. Does anybody have any questions at all? No? Thanks.
Thank you.
Janelle,
I'm here.
can we get an update from the Care Center?
Sure. So IDPH has reconvened their surveys that they had on hold for quite a while. We have a surveyor here yesterday and today. Not an uncommon practice when we're in normal environment, but so we're really preoccupied with her at the moment. But just a quick update: we're running around 600 to 700 tests per week that we're conducting on our staff and residents. Our challenge is obtaining the right kit from IDPH, the test kit that the right lab can run. We have 3 different labs that we're using. Lately, the cost per test is we had it down as low as $45, but based on the kit in the lab, we're now running sometimes $109 per test. We are coding all of that to the COVID, but we're using about 5 to 7 full-time staff just to accommodate this testing process. It's an immense. We've learned a lot. If you ever want to learn some of the very peculiar things we've discovered through the process, you can give me a call. But it's very overwhelming from the perspective of just the volume of managing all the results. Since April, we've had 33 staff members that have been positive and 28 residents. So low numbers over quite a period of time. Over 90% now are asymptomatic.
Hi, Carlson. Hey, Jennifer.
So it's just been very interesting. So, and very tiring, but the team is doing great. We did get our cameras installed, so when people walk in the building, the temperature is being checked. We still have an assessment that needs to be done, a questionnaire, and then the issuance of a mask that has to be done. So we do still have at least 1 staff member manning every door for every staff member that comes in. That's where we're at right now.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Janelle.
Thank
Dawn,
you.
Member Desart?
Thank you, Chairman Renahan. I do have a couple of questions. Janelle, I'm wondering, are you allowing visitors? Is that part of the camera and the temperature taking process?
We are not.
For residents? Okay, thank you. Also, I'm wondering about PPE, disinfectant, cleaning supplies. Are you able to find enough for your staff, or is it still kind of a shortage right now?
You know, we've been very fortunate since the beginning of this. We started in early February and we utilized alternative vendors, and the county departments have been phenomenal. So like what we couldn't get through medical, animal control could. Or, visors, welding visors work great for a shield and different types. So we were really diversified at the beginning, and I think that really helped. But the purchasing department, we work extensively with them. We had a meeting with Jim McGuire and Jeff last week to coordinate bulk purchasing just to prepare for the fall. We have not had a shortage here. We have been able to say to staff, this mask doesn't fit, or you feel very warm, let's try this one. We've been very, very fortunate.
All right, good to hear that.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Yeah, if I may, Madam Chairman?
Member Larson?
Yes. So just to try to put the numbers, that you were just talking about in perspective, I did some math in my head, and you're talking about something in the range of $25,000 to $50,000 a week just on testing, between the cost of the test and the personnel commitment to that.
I know we received an invoice for a 45-day period that was over $100,000. Now, mind you, we can bill the residents insurance, but we're not billing the staff insurance at this time.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments for Janelle? Do we have any old business? Yes. Member Rutledge.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm not part of this committee, but I wanted to, with the change in chairmanship, a couple of months ago at the board meeting, I talked about a dear friend of mine who ended up in ICU with COVID, was very close to being intubated, but received plasma and quickly recovered, or at least enough to get out of ICU. From that conversation, then Chairman DeCiani talked about a committee to look into more plasma donations. And just in the last few days, the president has made an issue or made a point of making sure that we do our best to recruit those that have those life-saving antibodies in their bodies, and so that we can pass those on to other people. So I'm just here this morning to make sure that that doesn't fall by the wayside, and I think that's important for our community to form that committee to encourage people who have recovered from COVID to give that life saving to somebody else.
Thank you, Member Rutledge. Member DeCiani?
Yeah, this was something that I had was in the works of trying to put together, and I think maybe some things may have been taken out of context. And I'll leave this to our new HHS chair to deal with. But plasma therapy has been found to be very effective, not only in Member Renahan's friends, but many of our hospitals, our teaching hospitals, are doing plasma therapy, seeing quite efficacy. A lot of them are actually doing studies because the efficacy has been so successful. And until a vaccination is present, which we're hopefully to have soon, often in pandemics, plasma therapy has been a solution for many until a vaccine is in place. But in any case, one of the concerns I had when Vice Chairman Renahan mentioned about potentially renaming our committee to a Human Services Committee, our county board rules for HHS, whoever the chairman may be, I think it's important that the county board has a liaison, and our county board rules permits this committee to make recommendations, and for the chairman of this committee to create a subcommittee. And I had no ill intent in doing that. My intent was to put some folks who are professional in a position to make recommendations to our health department. While we don't have jurisdiction over that health department, this committee is the liaison from the county board to the health department, and county board rules permit this committee to make recommendations and work alongside the health department. So I think we really need to rethink if we are going to change that, because I think, considering the amount of money that we levy on their behalf and the relationship that we've had in the past, I think it's important that we keep that relationship, and we keep a strong complement to work with them while they have their own separate board, et cetera. We are still the parent committee and liaison to the health department. So Again, I'm not the chairman anymore. I've given that up, but I don't think that this committee should give up its right to work alongside and with and make recommendations to programming that could benefit the health and human services of this county. So, Member Rutledge, I appreciate you bringing that up, and I hope Member Tornatore doesn't take anything out of context. This was really going to be more of a blood drive because there's such a huge shortage of blood plasma in the county and throughout this nation right now, given COVID, and the antibody has been a huge treatment and success, saved a lot of lives. And there are entities out here, private entities that are in vital need that supply our hospitals with blood and plasma. So Vitalent is one of the groups that I was going to be working with, and I would recommend that Member Tornatore, as chairman of HHS and president of the health board, look at partnering with that excellent group. They will do as part of the benefit of donating blood, they will test the blood and for antibody, and their testing is virtually 100% accurate, unlike a lot of the quick tests that are out there. And there has to be, because they have to use it for treatment and therapy for extremely ill COVID people. So I would hope that, this would move forward, and we've got some money budget in the CARES budget for this, which I put out there for the east side of the county, and but really to benefit the whole county. So Member Rutledge, I appreciate your bringing this to the front and center, and I hope that our new chairman takes this seriously and moves forward with this. Thank you.
I see Member Tornatore with his hand raised.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Renahan. I'm not going to get into a give and take with Member DeCiani. First off, I'm not the chair of anything yet, so let's not take that out of context. Number two, I took nothing out of context from what you said, former Chairman DeCiani, at the last meeting, so please don't accuse me of taking things out of context. And thirdly, once again, I will reiterate that this committee is not the parent company or parent committee of the health department. It is not. You said it again this morning. It is not. As president of the DuPage County Board of the Health Department, I'm going to reiterate that. We have always worked together. It's a liaison. This committee is not the parent committee of the health department. Thanks very much, Chairman Renahan.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick,
I happy to get into a discussion, but I don't know that this is the appropriate time.
I did not say we're the parent committee. I said we are the liaison.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
We are.
Yes, you did. You did.
Member Tornatore, you can express how you would like to. We are the committee, the liaison committee, according to the county board rules, to the health department.
We are not the parent committee. That's what you said, and I just wanted to be clear. I have a board. I have a board at the health department that I have to account to, and this is not the parent committee of the DuPage County Health Department. Period. It's not, unless you want to change the county board rules.
I did not say we're parent committee. I said we are the liaison committee from the county
Well,
board to the.
If we have a recording of this, we'll just play it back, okay? Because I heard what I heard.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Member Chaplin?
Yes, thank you, Chairman Renahan. I just, the conversation about plasma and antibodies and all that, I don't think any of us are scientists or doctors on this panel. So I really think that conversation really should be left to our CDC, our health department, and groups like that. I think that might be a little bit above what we're qualified to even be talking about. I mean, I know there's a lot, people talk about all kinds of treatments and cures and everything, but I think we really need to leave this whole conversation to the professionals, because I don't want to mislead anybody, give out false information, say that the county's working on this. I think it's way above what we're even here to do, talking about that type of treatment or plasma and the antibodies, because they're still working on all of that. And like I said, I just think it's not really an appropriate conversation for any of us board members to be having, honestly, because we don't know.
Great, thank you. Do we have any more discussion under old business? Member Rutledge.
Yeah, I would just like to say, one thing my late husband always taught me is, if you don't ask, you don't get. So I I'm sorry, I think we need to be having this conversation. It is coming as a directive from the President of the United States. And I think as a county board, we do need to explore. We're not asking or answering medical questions or anything like that. But I do think that this has been a proven treatment. And if we can give our community better access to that, I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rutledge. Any other discussion under old business? All right, that was a very passionate discussion.
All right, the 10 o'clock alarm is going on.
Yeah.
All right, apparently no new business. Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
Oh, second.